you guys? What is up? It is your girl PalaBug, and today we're finally getting around to this podcast that I've been planning with my boy Adam Carson, the one, the only, the best, in my opinion, DPS pip I've come across. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What's up? I'm Adam Carson, or I go by not Adam Carson. You might see me as CTV Adam Carson on Paladins. It is where I spend the majority of my time, especially in the customs area. I think if you've ever even looked at that kind of like play area, you've seen my name once or twice.
Yep, I've seen those videos, and I will include a link to his channel. He's got a ton of 1v1 content that is super interesting to watch. It will have you on the edge of your seat. But it's good to finally get around to this. We were previously talking before this and really wanted to get into this kind of like a conversation. We do have an outline that we're going by, but really we're just kind of chatting, right? We brought this up during your stream. That one night I hung out with you and your friends.
An unexpected night entirely. I didn't
It was so
expect you to
random.
like hit me up because I'm like, I know you went offline, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, like she's not gonna be online, and you randomly just sent me a message like later on, like that day, and I'm like, all right, I'm down. Like as long as you're chill, like sweating a little bit here and there, trying to get the W, but
Yeah, it was I'm pretty sure that I was just not having a good day and I was like, I just want a game. So I made some time to do it.
I was saying, yeah. So it's like
Oh
you
my
have like all
god.
these specific points that which you memorize,
Yeah.
right? So along this like line of you're gonna run into like several, and it's different for everyone because people learn at different speeds. It's true.
Right.
It's scientific.
Yeah.
And so different people are gonna be on different plateaus at different points. Um, and then paladins specifically, getting from silver to gold is a huge plateau. Going from gold to like high gold is a small time period that takes some adjusting to for some people, majority people, and
Mhm.
then you have into platinum. From high gold into platinum was like a just like a long grind session as you're that's kind of where it's balanced in a sense rank wise,
Mhm.
and then you have from all of like mid plat into like diamond 2. That's just one huge clusterfuck entirely.
I feel that. I can them to be good because I have seen it in games that I've played recently that it I said this to my friend the other day. I was like, it feels like most of my games lately have been a 3v, like me and say I have like two of my friends with me, so it's three of us, like versus five. It's what it seems like because our randoms are just like learning the game, and I'm like, why does the game think this is balanced? You know?
So with these different plateaus, that's where the disconnect between you those are. Everyone's so eager to learn advanced mechanics, but if you don't understand what the core of the advanced mechanics, you're not going to understand how to properly do those mechanics. So you might go up to like gold by doing the like advanced mechanic in like a really bad way, and you might get away with it. But the moment you face people who don't miss, you're not gonna get away with it. You're not one bad decision and you're caught out entirely. And you have to be prepared to realize that you're caught out and save yourself.
Like test your resilience and knowledge and shit. Because I do feel like that. I feel like the times that I do lose, it's always against people that are just slightly better. They're not that much better, but they're just that much better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it kills me because it'll, like I said, it'll feel like two of us are knowledgeable about what's happening. We try to communicate it. But again, because children also play the game, they don't like being told what to do. So a random that's a child is going to just leave the game. You know, you'll have your point tank straight AFK and just, dude, yet last night our Victor on a siege just straight left. Like he didn't leave the game, but he AFK'd and just stopped playing and sat in spawn. After we lost the first push. So
Nice.
I was just
We
like,
love
what
when
the
that happens.
I was like, this guy didn't even leave. He's just there. And
He's just existing.
I was healing as IO and I was like, I tried to be nice and heal for some randoms and this is what happens.
I feel that when I, not to go too much off topic, but I feel like when I heal, we don't have enough damage.
I
When
think
I go
that's,
damage,
yeah,
we don't have enough heals. When
that's
I
how I always feel.
frontline, our damage is non-existent, but our support's
Hmm.
really good.
Yeah, you just named all my games. Get out of my head, bro. This is creepy. This is weirder than my tarot readings. What the fuck, Adam?
This is gamer tarot right here.
Game
Right.
material. All right. So we talked about disconnected and game mechanics. What are some
Well,
things?
actually, we didn't fully talk about this. There's something I got to bring up.
Mm,
Is in that disconnect between the elos, hitting game mechanics are one of like the main things that like
yeah.
is the reason for that.
Yeah.
And I think there's should be a lot more videos about different hitting game mechanics and how they affect each character. Like
Nobody
I
wants
think
to do it.
someone
It's a lot of
like a
work.
full on like make a short video. It's just super direct. You don't got to do much. Just literally a video on what hidden mechanics affect, like Mave, Pip, Buck. You know,
Yeah.
with wall jumps, animation canceling, right? With Andro, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Amazon.
Mm, well,
I
we don't
think
like
Moji.
Azan.
Yeah, we hate Azon.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't
that
know
kind of
about
goes
all
into the
that
next
stuff.
one though.
It does, but I wanted to bring it up because I'm like, I am in my year and a half into Paladins, and my boyfriend has to constantly remind me, like, babe, you have just recently learned how to be a PC gamer. And he's right. I've only been on MNK for a year and a half because that's how long I've had my PC. Before then, I was always on console. Console since I was like a kid, you know? So I'm still learning, you know, aim sensitivity wise. I keep playing with it. I keep turning it down and messing with it on my mouse, turning it up, down, like trying to find my happy place. Because I do have really good games sometimes, and then sometimes I feel like I'm not doing anything or I'm missing every shot. It fucks me up. It really does. And I have a lot of friends that feel the same way I do in a single game, you know. They're going through the same thing I'm feeling, and I'm just like, how do we get out of this, you know?
Well, what's all right? So let me solve that entire because I remember dealing with that question, and I'm a super highly analytical person. And if I
Mhm.
can't answer a question,
And I'm learning to never underestimate your fucking enemy team because I have seen people make some weird shit fucking work, bro, and I'm
oh
over
yeah,
it. I be trying to tell people that play with me, I'm like, don't assume, you know, like don't assume because you look like an ass. You gotta expect the unexpected when it comes to that, and I learned that from Valorant because, bro, people will like troll and like play somebody that isn't really using like ranked for Val, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden like pop up with them. Like that's why I played Sova a lot because Sova was like underrated. Like
100%.
yeah.
And it's kind of like different weapons. Like you have like different people with different types of weapons, right? In Valorant and
Mhm.
like CS:GO,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with cards and like buying stuff in Paladins
Mhm.
entirely. Because if on Pip, if I don't have like for instance the card Moxie in my loadout, I just lose entirely my healing. I get so much more healing. It is the most vital part of my kit. And then I need either something to boost my jump, or I need ammo back or like life steal, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what matters more in the long run.
I made a newer build for Inara, bro. That was like decent sustain. I'm almost wanting to run all her sustain cards and see how much I could increase my HP with her. Because I think the most I got right now with Vet with this build was almost 6k HP. But I was shooting for 10k. I was trying to make a 10k build.
Yeah.
Just
Jesus.
memeing. I know that's and then the funny thing is I'm trying to make this build right, but still player is Cripple Inara. So just imagine a 10k HP
Yeah,
Cripple
that's insane.
Inara.
No, but think about that then. Like that would work well with my Pip as well because
Pip Inara is toxic as fuck. I've seen that a lot lately. Because Inara's good.
people in general, right? So
Mm,
if let's say that someone picks up, they see a lot of like Andro, like Z1 Unknown and then stuff, or if you're old school, like old, I'm talking about old competitive, then like Ethereal with like his Andro and or like Leon and stuff,
mm-hmm.
right? There's certain people who like in certain times influenced a lot of like the characters. I mean, there's not that many people who play, right? There's maybe like 2 to 3 thousand players on. Like, there's not that many, and that's across so many different regions, right? So if you're
Yeah.
understanding, like, oh well, what do I buy in game? Well, who are you playing? Do you do a lot of damage, but you're really slow? Well, get maybe Kronos, get maybe Deft Hands, right? Maybe get Nimble. Oh, you need your abilities faster because you need to spam, but you're really squishy. So get Kronos, or get Deft Hands, and then get like defense. Get that defense item, right?
Yeah.
Block AoE, block direct. You're fine. I mean, you don't have to even worry about cauterize anymore. The reason that they did the cauterize change was because people couldn't understand that like you have to buy cauterize. If you're like a consistent player or something, you won't need to really change it that much. But if you grow as a person and then realize that like, oh, I made this build was comfortable back then because I was playing it this way, but now as a
That's
better
how I
player, I
feel.
realize that
Yeah. Like a lot
sometimes
of
you
my
need
builds are
to
old.
upgrade. Yeah. So it might not be that it's old in general because it might be good for someone else, but it might be too low of elo for you.
Is that a weird? So that's not weird to feel that way? Because I thought I was just like tripping. Like I was just like, this used to work, but now it's not working.
Well, it depends
Like,
on because it's like if you change your style a little bit, and if you don't go in as much as you used to, or you're like used to be a hard diver, and now you just kind of play a little bit more passive and then hard dive later, you might need like a burst comp that's more sustained for poking. So, because that's where most of your gameplay is going to be, right? And you might discover that later. So it really depends on like what you're doing.
all right, and the person.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at like last minute decision making too, and like planning my flank routes and like after the first put. I agree when Drifty always says like, oh, the first push or the first whatever, it doesn't really matter because it kind of gives you some insight as to how your enemy team ultimately is going to play. And it's true because when I pay attention to who's diving back, what they're doing, where they're running after they take down, like I've started paying attention to the stuff, and it's very minor, but I do feel like it'll help you in a game because I've surprised flanks that have ran the same route, and I'm like, you know what? I've seen you do this. Nobody's pushed you. I'm gonna push you, and then it throws them off because they don't expect it.
Yeah.
We've been letting them get away with it, so they just keep doing
One, I will say this. One question is probably that someone's probably asking about now.
it.
Um, I peaked GM when there was individual ranks for each champion, so you could play. Let's say you play like Tyra on Tyra release. Tyra's OP, so if you play Tyra, it was a guaranteed win. So a lot of people were like, majority of the people were like really high ranked with Tyra. They were like diamond or masters, or like plat, but it was like the opposite. But like so it allowed kind of like more of like, oh, like I really don't play as champion, I'm not that good, but like here are these other champions I play at like a higher rank. It was a
Hmm.
flex.
It was, yeah.
Um, I was a Pip and I was a Ying Grandmaster, but not for too long on the Pip. It was mostly Ying. That's why I have the Ying tattoo. Not too many people know that. I have a Ying tattoo. I have a mirror.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big tattoo. It's on my calf. It's on the side of my leg.
I'll have to look at it and see a picture.
Got you.
I seen someone with
Um.
a really dope ass Damba one, and I was like,
Ooh.
dude, yeah, it looked really nice. It was on Twitter,
I
and I
want to
think
get
I
a
shared
Pit
it.
Blaster.
Dude, I want an IO tattoo. I'm not gonna lie,
Do it.
I really do. She's like my favorite. I'm actually drawing her right now.
Mm. I was really strong in game though. By the way, like really strong for DPS. It's annoying because we touched on this earlier, but like the whole matchmaking thing, how it's
Hmm.
like really bad. So you might find like a 126 IO, and it's gonna be two ways. It's 50-50. They're gonna be really bad or they're gonna be really good.
Yeah,
They might be a really good healer or a really good DPS IO.
yeah. I switch
Um,
according to how, like, I'll look who's picking what, you know, like based on the champion they pick. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
this is the three talents. What are they running?
yeah.
Let me see their cards, and then I'll
And
adjust.
if they're bad, they're most likely gonna be a bad. I'm sorry to say it, but they're probably gonna be a bad IO healer because
Yeah,
very few understand that IO can do damage. So a lot of people don't know this, but it's based off win rate. That is the main thing that it's based off. There's a lot of things that go into matchmaking, but like majority of it of what like the reason of your matchmaking is win
yeah,
rate. When you look at people's win rates across your entire team on Paladins Guru for that match, you'll see that if you find like the bigger averages and lower averages on the queue, not the champion, but the queue, you'll see that it's usually around the same percentage on
yeah,
both sides. Or here's when it's not. Here's when it gets a little bit override, right? You're gonna bypass a lot of the rules of matchmaking. Is when you're in a party.
yeah,
If you're in a party, you are going to get way harder matches because the game's like, oh, you're in a party, you're communicating, you guys are sweaty. I got you. I understand. I see you. We're
yeah,
gonna put you say you're like silver, you're gonna go against some platinums. Good luck. Oh, you're
yeah.
in gold. You're in gold. Did you say diamond? And diamonds play with masters, and they play with GMs sometimes. So good luck. You can play with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like just because you have communication doesn't mean that you could be like two people who are new starting out together, and you're gonna get harder matches because you're grouped. That's not fair.
it's not. Especially if we just want to play with friends. Because, I mean, I stream, so obviously I'm playing with a range of people. And I don't try to judge either, you know, because you're just playing with your friends. Your friends that play casually shouldn't have to sweat. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be subjectified to sweat just because we're in a party, but the game does that.
Majority of it of what like the reason of your matchmaking is win
Yeah,
rate. When you look at people's win rates across your entire team on Paladins Guru for that match, you'll see that if you find like the bigger averages and lower averages on the queue, not the champion, but the queue, you'll see that it's usually around the same percentage on
yeah.
both sides.
Doing this podcast for people watching, what are you hoping to achieve from it?
No, I just want to get the skill base up just for Paladins entirely.
Yeah.
Like it's like I see there's a lot of people like, how can I counter that? Because if you played that champion, you're gonna understand what it's like, what's difficult to like play against, right? Because you played it to a certain
Yeah.
level, so you have a certain amount of games, so you understand like, dang, it's really annoying to play against that. That counters me pretty well, so I'm gonna play that, and that's what I'm gonna play to win. Now
True.
keep in mind, if you do that, if you sweat the champion select and then casually play the game, it's going to be a lot easier to learn while you're having fun because you're countering them a lot easier. If you're playing someone that you enjoy, but they suck and they're nerfed, and then you're getting countered, you're not going to enjoy the game and you're not going to learn. So if you just put in the effort during champion select, you're going to enjoy and learn a lot more from the game.
Yeah, I agree
Just
with you
saying.
there. Yeah.
Looking at a wall or a box and you jump higher than you normally jump. It gives you a boosted height in your jump. As long as you know that little bit of information, it'll change the entire way you'll view Paladins.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I do want to thank you for setting some time aside for chit chatting with me and doing this. I've been wanting
Of
to do this
course.
for a while, and I don't know, the conversation just needs to get started and let people finish it, join in, ask questions. I just think that people like this are like this on every game, and I know that, but for the potential that Paladins has and the joy that I see in people that are coming into Paladins, people I see that are playing again, maybe it's been years. One thing will always remain the same is that it's everybody's like dirty little secret. Like they just love the game and it's kooky, it's crazy, it's unique, it's goofy as hell. The ults are hilarious. Like the game encourages basically a little bit of toxicity, with the taunting and shit like that. And so it's like I don't want that to go away, but how some of the people talk in regards to just being straight up disrespectful does need to change. Like me seeing more and more nicer people and wholesome creators really genuinely wanting to change that in the community means a lot. I definitely want.
We need more of it because
We do.
that the more we can get of that, the more people we
We can
can pull
revive
from
the
other
game.
games, and
Yeah.
the more if we can pull some like other pros from other games to fill up like our top list, it'll completely demoralize and de-ego every other single like every GM ever, and it'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
And revive the
Please,
fucking game. Like, really.
please come save us.
Come save us. Play Paladins. Paladins is in a crisis.